Good morning, ladies. Everyone needs a hobby, and in my case, I've got two of them. Over here, we've got a Mazda RX8 with an RX7 engine, and her name is Sachi. And over there, we've got a Porsche 911 997.2 C4S, and her name is Tingting. So what's life like with these two beautiful beasts? Well, for starters, I'll introduce you to Sachi. So when it comes to Sachi, before every single drive, I gotta pre-flight her. So how do we do that? It's fairly simple. First, we pop the hood. And as we pop the hood, we take a look at this beautiful engine bay. And we bend over and check our oil levels. Why do we need to check our oil levels? Well, Sachi runs a rotary engine, so she needs to burn some oil. I've got some oil here that'll last us another 200 kilometers. But since we're already here, let's add some oil into the mix, shall we? So over here we've got some Shell 2050 conventional oil, as you Americans like to call it, whereas here in Malaysia we call it mineral. We've got a funnel, plop that in, fill it up. Yes, Sachi drink. Drink a bit more. Oh yeah, who's a thirsty girl? You are. Wipe up a bottle. Now while we wait for the oil to fully get down there into the oil pan, I'm gonna check on our coolant. Yeah, we've still got coolant. And that about completes our pre-flight. Now over here on this side, we've got Tingting with her froggy eyes. So while I do have a frog, I've also got a Dorito. Now I know what you guys are wondering. You have a beautiful 911, why don't you drive that every single day? Well, for starters, it's a 911, not gonna drive that every single day. The maintenance costs on this car is far more expensive than it is on Sachi. But either way, I love both of the cars. However, when it boils down to it, Tingting is a fast car. Sachi, on the other hand, is a fun car. And there's a huge difference to that. When it comes to the fun factor with Sachi, it comes down to her lightweight. She's about 1,300 kilos, whereas Tingting is 1,600 kilos, somewhere about there. Tingting does about 380 horsepower on the wheels. Sachi does 330 horsepower. And she's also got 400 Newton meters of torque, which makes her super fun. So why are we talking about my cars today? Well, the topic is hobbies. And everyone needs three kinds of hobbies. One for the mind, one for the body, and one for the circle. Now, as a car guy, going on drives, that already covers the circle and the networking part and making friends. In fact, a lot of my friends I have made were through drives. I also met my ex that way. Either way, I recommend having a hobby that hits all three. And when it comes to cars, it hits all three. When it comes to the mind, I'd have to say Sachi has played the biggest role here because I built her. I kind of over-engineered her in some respect as well, because I wasn't shooting for high horsepower, I was just shooting for best hill climb and best downhill times. So with a lightweight chassis and everything, I've already got the handling. So I just needed some torque so I can climb the hill. And we've got that with a BorgWarner EFR 7670 under the hood. as well as the RX-7 FD's engine, which is a 13B REW. Now, when it comes to body, while Sachi does do quite a good job of keeping me engaged, especially because she's a 6-speed manual, I'd have to probably say that Tingting kind of takes the cake for her hydraulic steering. You gotta muscle her around a bit. But with her 4-wheel drive drivetrain, and which makes her a bit heavier than most 911s, I'd have to say that she's quite composed, but you still do have to kind of throw the steering wheel around. It requires a bit of muscling. Whereas got an electronic power steering unit here in Sachi, so everything's kind of easy and dulled down. But that's just for your upper body. How about your lower body? When it comes to the lower body, Tingting's running a PDK. Not much going on there, just a bit of coordination with left foot braking. Sachi, on the other hand, I've got a twin plate OS Geekin clutch going on under the transmission tunnel. That clutch ain't the lightest thing in the world. And I do drive this in daily traffic, so I've got leg day covered. We're in Sachi because
she's my baby that I love to drive so much. Yes, you are.
People say you can't daily drive a rotary car. I say, yeah, you can. You can daily drive any car that you want, really. So while we wait for our engine to warm up, because we are civilized, there are some people out there who don't warm up their engines. I don't know. Some people just don't love their cars. So a bit of story time. A lot of people will say that a rotary engine is unreliable, but I would like to say, and I would like to claim, that I have the most reliable rotary engine powered vehicle in all of Malaysia. Sachi and I have gone on many adventures together. Some of them one would not believe. Now, before I did the engine swap on Sachi, on the 13B Renesis engine, which is the stock RX8 engine, I have driven this car 1,556 kilometers in one day. I did that in 21 hours from KL to Bangkok. And then I did 17 hours from Bangkok back to KL. After I did the engine swap, I drove the car again from KL to Bangkok. 1,556 kilometers in 21 hours. Now, you're probably wondering, why 21 hours? Why is it so specific to 21 hours? That's a speed limit. If I went any faster, well, we already have the 17-hour test. All right, let's get a move on. We've got places to go to today. We just arrived at our refueling point, and cool thing about Malaysia is you can order your fuel without having to go out of your car using your phone. Just put about 30 liters in here. Now, some people might ask, when I'm refueling Sachi, because she's a rotary, do I need to premix her? No, I just topped up the oil, and the OMP is a mechanical OMP, so yeah, I'm not entirely 100% worried. Plus, not leaving the city anytime soon. Now, if I were going on an interstate drive, then yeah, I will definitely need to do some premixing. And now with the magic of editing, we're in the gym. Speaking of which, since we were on the topic of hobbies, is hitting the gym a hobby? Because for me at this point, it's more of just autopilot. Anyways, today is pull and ass day. So we're gonna pull some weights. And with the deadlifts, that's gonna help work out my ass. So I thought about it, and if you're treating it like a game and you keep on progressing and increasing the weights, it's definitely a hobby. Now let's go to 100 kilos. All right, so I weigh about 65, 66 kilos depending on my glycogen levels and also water levels. And behind me we have 100 kilos. So if I can lift 100 kilos, you guys have to like, share this, follow, and subscribe. Let's go hit 100 kilos, baby. Also, while I'm setting up, let me know in the comment section down below, is hitting the gym a hobby or not? That's a new personal best. 2 reps of 100 kilos. So done with the gym, and we've concluded that that is a hobby. And I also lifted the 100 kilo deadlift for 2 reps, which is my new personal best. And as such, please don't forget to like, follow, share, and subscribe. And now we have to head home after a huge downpour of rain. Now these tires that I'm running, I'm not entirely sure how they'll perform on wet roads, so we won't go too crazy. Just take it easy back home. Aside from that, coming back to hobbies. Another hobby that I do have, right? Since we've already covered hobby for the head, I mean the mind, the body, and the circle. Another hobby that I do have is I like to fly planes. And I mean that in a literal sense. I do have a private pilot's license. And before any of the Americans start a debate about calling it a license, I'm not in the US. You guys call it a certificate, that's fine. Here in Malaysia, we call it a license. So yeah, from time to time, I'll probably fly a plane, and just nothing too fancy. Nice little Piper 28, fly it around town, fly it to other towns. Which category does flying fall under? I guess if you don't trim your aircraft, then it is a workout, especially for your forearms. Make sure to trim your plane, guys. Which actually reminds me of a story. So a little bit of a story time. The other day I was flying with one of our instructors because I wasn't current on the Piper 28. I had just gotten out of the gym at the time. So I decided I was gonna fly the plane and I wasn't gonna trim the plane at all. The moment bro took over controls, he was like, "Yo, you didn't trim the plane?" For those who don't understand what trimming is, it's there are little control surfaces on both the ailerons as well as the horizontal stabilizer. The vertical stabilizer also has one too. And it helps for you to decrease force feedback. Now, why would you want to decrease force feedback? Well, when you're flying a plane that doesn't have autopilot and you want to keep the aircraft straight and level with minimal effort and input, then yeah, you want to, what we call, trim the plane. Roads are wet, don't boost, don't boost. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys again once we get home. So in this cycle of making a comeback, I like to pick up some new hobbies and learn some new skills. Before this, for the mind, I used to learn how to play piano. And I wouldn't say that I was the best at it, but it kept me sane. It got me through some tough times as well. And now I'd like to introduce you to my new hobby that I'm picking up. Violin. A lot of people say that the violin is the hardest instrument to learn, and it might damn well be. To all my violinists out there, I think all of you will find something very interesting and very funny with this violin. From the pegs to the chin rest placement. This video isn't mirrored, by the way. This is in fact a left-handed violin. I am left-handed. And so I had to get this violin custom made by a luthier. If you look at it, the bridge itself is also cut in a way so that you could flip the strings over quite nicely. Underneath, I'm not sure if you guys can see it, the sound post is on this side of the violin. The bass bar is on this side. In the road to making a comeback, I'll be learning a new skill and picking up this violin as my new hobby. On the topic of hobbies for the body, I did say that I do like to drive. But throughout the past few years, I've only just been driving on tours, on hill climbs. Haven't really done anything completely taxing. So moving forward, what we're going to do is, because I do have a rear-wheel drive car with no traction control, we're gonna start drifting. And on top of drifting, I was thinking of picking up another hobby of horse riding. In today's economy with the current gas prices, I think, especially compared to driving a Rotary, you could ride a horse instead. So be sure to subscribe so that you can keep up with the latest and see all of that here on this channel. So we've covered the hobby for the mind, the body, and the circle. Tell me, what hobbies do you guys have? What is it that you like to do in your free time? In the comment section down below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell icon so that you can get the latest updates. And if you want to follow more and keep up with all the latest updates and everything that actually goes on an almost day-to-day basis, you can follow me on social media on TikTok, Instagram, and Xiaohongshu for the latest. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.